Hello everyone, so we'll be going over the changes with water DPS. So first of all, let's go over um, what we have coming this Tuesday after the server restart. So first of all, we have a overhaul on water
Yes.
DPS.
First,
Here we have just the general changes in water, which is pretty much with everything. Okay, so you got individual ability changes, crashing wave, aquatic arsenal, water sprouts, which is now a combo power. Shock Frenzy, then changes to how Dehydrate works, how some of the supercharges even work as well. Okay, so I will be going through all of that, comparing that with what currently water is like now. So with this, we get the water changes, a booster bundle that is coming. That's all new Void Glow auras and Toon Shaded Chromas. So just to go through a few, this is one of the, I guess, auras or styles or whatever. Yeah, I ain't too bothered by the booster bundle. And then also we have an ultimate recruitment event. So create a new character and level up for the ultimate prize, which in the past has been extra marks or maybe a new ability of some kind. Who knows? So you can't use the CR skip for this, or it won't work. Okay, and then also we also have with this a rewards. So I guess this is one of the rewards you get with this. So unleash the power of the death. Um, any of these at a level of 80 rank, and then you can go and enjoy a nested cache of requiring higher combat rating to open. This will advance you to through 7 tiers, locking stronger gear each time you complete the 8-piece primeval style set. That's for completing the new recruitment event, and then furthermore we will have a 30% offering on the off the marketplace. Okay, so let's go through what currently the power water is like, and then I will be going through what the changes they actually brought ahead in in terms of water. So I've taken all of the relevant screenshots that we need, and it starts from there.
Meet me there at a nice little pub called the Laughing Hound. I've got work to do. There's trouble on the sentient Green
Right,
Lantern planet
so
known
the
as
first
Mogo.
thing is high
Many
tide,
lanterns have assembled to face an invasion force there, including my sister,
which
Speranza.
is,
This conflict must be stopped
where's it
before
gone?
it escalates into a multiversal war. Meet me on Mogo. Together we can join the
We
fight and
have,
help my sister.
there we go. So summon the power of the deep, unleashing a potency of some time for your water abilities. So this power interaction grants high tide, allowing certain power water abilities to gain additional effects. So let me remove everything off here. So now with high tide, this only affects certain abilities. So from a healer perspective, you have stuff like soothing mist, which is your priority heal. So if you hit high tide, then hit this move, soothing mist healing is increased, and by when you use this ability, it removes high tide. So this also goes for the blessing of the depths. Quickly wash yourself and your group members with the mystical energy from the depths of the ocean, healing them. So and again, if you have this high tide ability active before you hit this move, um, this blessing of the depths heals over time. So this is an instant heal, but with high tide, it's a heal over time instead. And then you have where is mending wave? Where is it gone? There's another ability here which also does. If I can find it, there we go. So this is a group heal, and again, if you use high tide, mending wave will critically heal any of your group members. And this also works with supercharges. So create a swirling pool of water that heals you and the members. And again, if you are high tide, once this ability hits the group members, it gives everyone a bubble. So basically, instead of giving 4 people, including yourself, a bubble, using this supercharge will give all of your 8 members a bubble shield. And this also works with the 8-man shield, which is this. So if you're high tide, once again, Tempest Guard grants a heal when the shield ends. So if any of your targets are not at 100% health, once its effect goes, this high tide will also heal them. So now you might be asking, because the cooldown of high tide is 30 seconds, how do you decrease the cooldown? This is where Tsunami Strikes comes in. So each strike from Tsunami Strikes against a target reduces the current cooldown of high tide by 4 seconds. So I will show you how this actually works. So now I'm going to hit high tide. Going to Tsunami Strikes. There you go. The cooldown is gone. Usually I would need to wait for 30 seconds, but just by hitting Tsunami Strikes, I can get the effect of high tide off sooner than anticipated. So now this exactly works the same with DPS moves. So you have DPS moves such as Shock Frenzy. If you're high tide, Shock Frenzy will deal critical damage. You have the Aqua Lance move as well. It's been a while since I've been water DPS, so I have to just bear with me. So you have Aquatic Arsenal, which also is a tap melee combo. Each strike from Aquatic against your target reduces the current cooldown of High Tide as well. So instead of using Tsunami Strikes, you can use this move for the DPS side. And Aqualance also from a Trident Water and smash it down on your targets. If you're High Tide, this gives you that critical damage, but it also removes the effect of High Tide. Okay. And then Dehydrate. At the moment, it will be using Supercharge to deal damage. So bonus damage for each 2,500. Supercharge removed up to cap of 1,000. So this is based off a supercharge. Every time you use this, it does damage on your target, single target. Okay. And then Riptide, everyone knows how that works. It reduces the cooldown of your last superpower. So you can pretty much do this if you wanted. Use High Tide 2 times. And then you have Water Spouts, which would now be a combo move compared to what it is right now. So water DPS and healing all works off High Tide, but I know because High Tide isn't that good at the moment, which is why they have gone through the changes they have. So let's go through Crushing Wave damage, which is where is it gone? It is here somewhere. There you go. So Crushing Wave. Ride a wave binding speed towards the target and it crushes enemies. So now this damage has been increased by 50%, and this split damage across its 4 targets instead of 2. Because now if you were to use this wave on multiple targets, it would only affect 2. But now they've increased that to 4, which is great. And this also reduces the high tide cooldown by 5 seconds. At the moment, there's nothing that in the description to mention that it does anything to high tide, but with the new changes it will. And this does not consume high tide, okay, which is good. So it grants a damage instead of block 1 without high tide, 3 with high tide. So you need to hit it at least 3 times, okay. And then you have Aquatic Arsenal, which is this move here. So increase animation speed, because right now the animation speed on this is very bad. So I'll show you what it is right now. See how slow that is. So now with this, they've increased the damage and added damage projectile on all swings. So first swing is 40%, then second one is 73, third is 80, then final is 44%. And this also splits over 4 targets. At the moment, it is only 2. And these combo moves grants Hydro Bubble, which will be the main focus around DPS for water, okay? So now Water Spout is exactly the same thing. Water Spout is there. So summon a Water Spout at the feet of each nearby opponent, dealing damage and knocking them down. So now this damage will now hit 4 targets instead of 2, and it splits over 4 targets. Can be recast once. Second cast is 12% stronger. And another combo move, this also grants Hydro Bubble. So now Shark Frenzy, which is this one here. This uses High Tide at the moment, okay? But these this does not, that does not. So Shark Frenzy. So cooldown is 6 seconds. So at the moment this is 3 seconds. So to increase the cooldown and the power cost is slightly higher, 300. But it does a plus 60% damage. So I do understand why they have increased the cooldown. And this splits at 4 targets and deals extra to crushed targets. And yeah, that's all that does for Shark Frenzy. And also High Tide Synergy grants crits. Short buff reduces High Tide cooldown by 4 seconds, max 4 per cast. So that's 1, okay, 2. So upon using this 4 times, this will reduce the cooldown, okay, of High Tide right there. So now Depth Charge is your supercharge, I believe, from what I can remember. Is it? No, it is not. It is the actual move. So call for line of consecutive while in water bursts. Each charge explodes, dealing damage to enemies. So that is, so now that deals at 10% extra damage and splits across 4 targets compared to 2. So Tsunami Strikes, faster animation. So every strike it increases the damage, okay? So the first strike is 9%. Second, which is a massive 243% damage. The final one is at 9% again. So this splits damage on 4 targets, now crushed. Before, I don't think it was anything. Where is Tsunami Strikes gone? Yep, there's no crush effect on this. So now they are adding a crush effect, which is nice. This will work very nicely with the Magma Vortex artifact. So this is normalized for damage for healers and DPS. Combo moves also grants Hydro Bubble. So now Drown is another power which is over. Where is it gone? It is. There we go. So this is a supercharge generator surrounding nearby opponents in water orbs. Stunning them. This provides crush abilities. So now the damage has been increased by 157%. High Tide increases damage by 83% without consuming it. So now with High Tide, this ability will do a massive damage increase. So with Ebb and Flow. So Ebb is that, and Flow is, where's it gone? Ebb and Flow, where are you? Um, so Ebb and Flow, faster animation. Okay, that's what they do water combos. I forgot about that. And damage flow reversed for smoother scaling, splits at 4 damage, and it also gives you the Hydro Bubble. So that is tap melee, flow, push opponents in front of you away. So now dehydrate. This actually works with. Oh yeah. Where is it? Dehydrate. Where are you? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. So at the moment, it uses your supercharge to do your damage, but now with the changes, it'll be based off hydro bubbles with a max of stack of 10. So the powers that grant you hydro bubbles are ebb and flow, um, tsunami strikes. You have shark frenzy that gives you does it give you bubble? Water spouts gives you hydro bubbles. You have aquatic arsenal gives you hydro bubbles. So you're gonna have to use these abilities to be able to hit hydrate. Okay. So now this dynamically as stacks are removed. So the more you use it, the stacks are removed. Okay. Then aqua balance. It is aqua lance. I mean. So at the moment, this ability is if you're high tide, it gives you extra damage. So initial hit is 26%, the dot is 44%, splits on 4 targets, and then this also gives you a dot increase at 8 per cast. So Call of Death and Whirlpool, which is this and this, the two supercharges, it no longer splits damage. So now Crashing Wave, this is going into the actual abilities themselves. Cooldown is 3 seconds, dashes to target. So the power interactions are now crush enemies. If you high tide, Crashing Wave now grants a shield that blocks the next 3 attacks. So now this is allowing water DPS to melee DPS and gain a shield of some kind to protect themselves. And this also reduces the cooldown of high tide by 5 seconds. And this effect does not remove high tide. So if you go through Crushing Wave, where is Crushing Wave? There you go. At the moment, this does not do anything to do with high tide, but this will be quitting with high tide when it comes out. And then you have Aquatic Arsenal. Cooldown is 1.5 seconds. With this current cooldown, it is at where is it gone? Aquatic Arsenal. There we go. Still 1.5. Power cost is 100. So now top melee Aquatic Arsenal affected area is 90 degrees. First swing superpower is 11, second is 12, 13, 17, 10. So each combo grants one charge of Hydro Bubble, and the max stack for Hydro Bubble is 10. So pretty much with this aquatic move, Arsenal, you're gonna have to hit it minimum 10 times to get the full stacks. There you go, there's a 10 to get the full Hydro Bubbles when you use it. And it also uses a crushability, which I believe it does use at the moment. It does use the crushability. Okay, that's good. So each strike from Aquatic Arsenal against a target reduces the cooldown of Aquatic Arsenal by 2 seconds. So you can pretty much spam this to quickly get your quickly get the combos, get those max Hydro Bubble stacks. Water Sprouts. So this is a combo ability. At the moment, this is not a combo ability. So if you go to Water Sprouts, there's no combo ability on this. So the cooldown is still 3 seconds. Power cost is still 200. And this has the crushability, which they've kept. So now tap melee times Water Sprouts. So each combo grants one charge of Hydro Bubble. So you will need to do 10 of these to get the max. Shark Frenzy, so this is your ranged move. So these have all been melee so far. So with Shark Frenzy, Create a large shark water construct and command it to attack your targets. Power interaction is crushed. At the moment, it does not have crush abilities, so that is nice. So if your high tide shark frenzy will deal critical damage, and each critical hit reduces a cooldown of high tide by 4 seconds. As always, this move will remove high tide. So depth of the charge, which is over here somewhere. Oh, come on. Where is it gone? There we go. So now, call for line of consecutive violent bursts. Infantry, each charge explodes, dealing extra damage. This has a crush ability, and so nothing changes here. Duration is cooldown is 3 seconds. Power cost 300. Okay. They've just added an extra bits on, which is the superpower modifier, and the effect duration is 1 second. That's what that move does. Ranged. Okay, next one is tsunami strikes, which is a big one in terms of changes. So now, this is a 1.5 second cooldown, 100% power cost, and heal modifier is 72 to 79. So now this works for DPS and healers. So if you look at the healer, it decreases the damage dealt by heals and most damaged group member. Then for the power interactions, they have added the crush effect on this, where this does not have anything to do with crush effects. So each combo now grants one charge of Hydro Bubble. So every time you combo, after that it goes into your weapon, so you need to constantly be aware of your cooldown. So that is pretty much 2 per hit. 1, 2, 1, 2. To get the max, you need to do this 5 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then as soon as you hit the 5th time, there is your 10 stacks for your Hydro Bubbles. So continue in striking the enemy's turrets of water, dealing damage. And each strike with tsunami strikes, like I showed in the beginning of the video, there is a cooldown of high tide by 4 seconds. So now drown, cooldown is 6. So drown is where is this? There we go. So supercharge generator. So surround the enemies with water orbs, dealing damage. This also provides a crush enemies effect. And as I mentioned before, they have added a damage buff to this. Okay, so if you high tide, this will increase even more damage, and this effect does not remove high tide. Okay, at the moment this has nothing to do with high tide at the moment, but they've said that it doesn't remove it, so that's great. Then we have the ebb move, which is that one right there. So this is a pull, okay, and it does the flow version of the water combo as well. So now pull a wave of water which pulls enemies in front of you towards you, dealing them damage. Then the flow version of this power is a tap melee. So again, each combo grants one charge of Hydro Bubble. At the moment, this does not grant any of the Hydro Bubbles, because that is a new mechanic for water when this comes out. And it also crushes enemies, which this one does anyways. So now dehydrate, which is a massive change. So at the moment it uses supercharges to do damage, but now this will use Hydro Bubbles. So all the moves I mentioned before give Hydro Bubbles. So you're gonna have to come up with a range loadout, which will be Tsunami Strikes, maybe Ebb, even to get the max Hydro Bubble stacks. Then you can go and use Dehydrate. So here we have 3 seconds to the power cost, and each stack will remove the hydro bubbles removed. Okay, 37, 40, 44, 55, and so on. It's hard to see or explain how these hydro bubbles will work. Okay, one charge of hydro bubble. So we'll be testing this when this comes out. Then we have the turret, which is this. At the moment, it's 4.4 seconds, 200 power cost. So it's a finisher. You use high pressure water jets to damage your targets. If your target is below 35%, your attack deals extra damage. The only thing different is probably this. They've probably changed the finisher modifier or the activation time, which is 1.6 seconds. Okay, which might be different than this. Pretty much the same, I think. I don't think there's any difference in that. Then you have Aqualance, which is, let me get this right. Where is it? There we go. So now this gives crush abilities, which is nice. Form a trident to smash it down on your targets. And then high tide duration 8 seconds. Summon a power the deep, increasing the potency of some abilities. So now the high tide duration lasts for 8 seconds. Okay. Over here, there's no mention of the 8 seconds for high tide. And that is all of the changes with water. Okay, guys. Hoping that this video was useful. All right. So any questions, leave them below in the comment section, or what you think some of the changes are good for water, really make it viable for being like a meta DPS in the future with these changes. How will it do with all of the new artifacts we have, such as Candor, Trans, Omega. So as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. These changes, like I said before, will be coming to the game after the downtime, which is probably around 8 to 10 hours. So as always, thank you for watching.